Hello guys, so 2022 is almost near to the end. So what do you think 2023 lies for the field of the SEOs? Now the thing is that the industry of SEO is rapidly changing and it's totally focusing towards the semantic era, which means that the era where understanding of the user psychology, understanding the customer buyer journey model, understanding the intent. So these things will be more relevant towards the future of the SEO industry. And today in this episode, we'll be discussing how semantic SEO will take a shape in 2023. So come, let us find out. So let us first with the first thing first. What is semantic SEO? Now the thing is that semantic SEO is nothing but just an extended version of SEO in which search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing or DuckDuckGo uses AI-driven crawler to better understand the intent of a query, and also it utilizes essential natural language parameters to better understand context of a landing page. So this is what semantic search means, and today we will uncover few of the areas by which semantic SEO can be useful in 2023. So the first thing is domain authority does not matter anymore. So if you look at this simple keyword like business outsourcing, which is probably a higher intent keyword, so the thing is that as you can see from the result, an IT company named B Outsourcing is impressively ranking in third position, beating big players like Wikipedia and a government website. So clearly domain authority does not matter anymore, so relevance does. Now this is the main beginning of the semantic era. So have you observed one thing that like authority is this and that, so these things are really not important anymore because relevance now comes into the play, and if you really want to measure the relevance, then you need to take care of several semantic perspectives. Hence relevance should be more prioritized than the other factors such as domain authority or the page authorities. Okay, then crawl depth optimization. So at any given time, the crawl depth usually means that the number of clicks a user have to perform from the home page before he or she lands on a destination pages. Now as a golden rule, this should not be more than 3, because if it is more than 3, search engines will get a trigger that the pages are buried deep down inside and it will have a crawlability issue. So it's recommended that the user should reach to any particular landing page in less than 3 attempts. So this is known as a crawl depth. Now one of the smartest area of optimization is to put an HTML sitemap, because HTML sitemap ensures that every pages on any given campaign can be reached in not more than 2 clicks. Homepage to the HTML sitemap, and from the HTML sitemap directly to the destination page. So no more than 3 clicks is being performed, so the clicks are between 2 to 3, which is the ideal range, and the crawl depth is optimized. Then comes the RankBrain algorithm. So RankBrain is basically a system which Google have developed to better understand the user intent of a search query. So this was actually rolled out back in 2015 and officially have released on 26th of October on 2015 itself. So RankBrain algorithm is actually a part of the machine learning that Google is building, known as Hummingbird, which took Google from a strings to things environment. Like Google can better understand the entity rather than just any phrases. So from string to entity, as you can see by this simple example, like if I utilize a shirt, so Google can now understand more that if a shirt is a branded or is a color based like a red or Jason Bernard, and then Jason Bernard can also be linked with digital marketing or Dave Davies and so on. So like Hummingbird, Google is actually able to understand specify objective as entities or like not just as a string of text. And Google already utilizes machine readable entity ID, which can be assigned to any brand that can give specific meaning that is an established identity. In our case, for that where we do have a machine readable entity ID, as you can see, like /G/11QKS 6NQ79. So this is our machine readable entity ID, which differentiates our brands from anything elsewhere on the planet. Once again, jumping back onto the topic, for example, for a query like Jason Bernard is a friend of Dave Davis, who likes red shirts and is a digital marketer. So Google interprets this picture something like an entity, as you can see from the screen. So why RankBrain was introduced? So it was actually introduced to deal with queries Google never saw before. Now with the RankBrain, the system actually took by default all the entities, and instead of string they have started to evaluate entity basis on an entity level. And RankBrain actually used to consider the environmental context like the searches location and extract the meaning of what he or she is trying to decipher. So some of the common entities are like when, why, and like any of the Internet of Things. So this can be commonly known as some of the common entities. So how to optimize for RankBrain? So we do have a detailed video on that. I will put the link down in the description. Then we have content optimization with TFID. So TFID is another factor which will play a huge significance on the semantic SEO for 2023. So TFID basically stands for term frequency hyphen inverse document frequency. Now as you can see from the screen, TF is a TF provides value of number of times a keyword appears in a document divided by the total number of words, and document frequency is total number of documents divided by total number of documents where keywords appears in a database. This literally means the entire corpus or the entire database in the given planet, and IDF is just the logarithm of DF, or 1 divided by DF is known as IDF. So TF, now the thing is that when we use keywords that have high TF-IDF score, those indicate Google that the context of the pages are more than the regular words. So benefits of the TF-IDF. So the words with high TF-IDF score tend to be an entity to Google. So Google, like if some word is having a high TF-IDF, then Google will understand that that belongs to a class of an entity. So TF-IDF tools can be used to calculate various such things, and whenever you want to optimize a landing page around certain important keyword, make sure that the TF-IDF for that landing page is actually higher. So here is an example of how TF-IDF works. So let us be a search engine that does not know the meaning of trout. So let us analyze the following sentence like, trout is rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Trout has tender flesh and a mild, somewhat nutty flavor. When choosing trout, we pay attention to clear red orange color. Now also let us assume that we understand what salmon is. So salmon is a popular fish, and as you can see from the description, now the mere occurrence of the word trout with the words like omega-3, flash, salmon, pasta gives us an idea that trout might be some kind of an edible fish. So this is how TF-IDF is calculated. You can also use a tool for the same. Okay, now let us go into topic modeling with LDA and LDA score. So basically LDA stands for latent Dirichlet's allocation, and in very layman term, LDA provides us the algorithm and the framework to calculate the relevance of a query against a particular landing page. So in SEO, the ideal score for the LDA to have a good SEO is between 0.1 to 0.3. If it is more than 3, it's very excellent. If it is less than 0.1, then it is bad. So how LDA works? So we do have our own engine to calculate the LDA, but the common mechanism is very simple. So we put our website landing page which you want to rank against a particular keyword, and we take any one competitor. We calculate our LDA score versus the competitor's LDA score, and then we run some series of natural language processing identifier, and we predict if our page is more relevant than the competitor or if it is less relevant. If our page is more relevant, then no action is required, but if our page is less relevant, then we need to add a lot of phrase modifiers which can be taken from the report. So then comes the passage indexing with Smith algorithm. So Google recently published a research paper which explains what is BERT or what is Smith, or Smith commonly known as Siamese multi-depth transformer based hierarchical encoder. In other words, Google can now really understand long broad match queries and can really provide rich information regarding the same. So how Smith algorithm works is it's very simple. So Smiths take a long content with a lot of passages, probably a landing page. Then it checks the passage density, like which passage density falls under which criteria. It checks the word count of each passages. It also checks if there are any long tail keywords available in the passage or not. It even checks if the similarity distance between the two passages are similar. Now last but not the least, if the similarity distance is higher and have a long keyword available and satisfy the density criteria, then it fulfills this Smith algorithm. So the rules to be satisfied are pretty much simple. The passage word count should be between 30 to 70, long tail keyword should be greater than 1, and similarity score should be greater than 0.5. so here is an entire a simulation of what it did. So we have taken a landing page like our landing page as about us, so you can even check the output. Just type that in Google. So below, as you can see, we have got this below information, which once again fulfills the condition that the passage has higher chance of being used in the Google passage rank indexing. Then comes cosine similarity. Once again, just like the LDA, cosine similarity is an algorithm which provides a framework for understanding the similarity value of between two particular words or against landing pages. Why it is important for SEO? It is important for SEO to find the content relevance. Here is a sample report. The process is similar to LDA. You calculate your score versus your competitor scores, and then you can check whether you need to add more stuffs into that or you need to deduct more stuff. Then there comes the bag of words. So bag of word is nothing but a collection of the TFID from the biggest to the smallest. So this can really give really give a word occurrences from a corpus, which can give us an idea like how a particular landing page is operated with the available TFID into that. So here is a sample report which you can see. Then there comes the semantic proximity. So semantic proximity is nothing but an framework which measures the distance between two similar words or search terms within a specific document. So in other words, it uses an algorithm known as Euclidean cosine. So the thing is that semantically different. As you can see, like how are you and how old are you are semantically different, but how old are you and what is your age is semantically similar. So this is how it measures like the context of some landing pages. Some measurement areas. So there are some measurement area which can be done. Once again, we do have our own tool. If anyone would like to check that out, feel free to leave a comment and I'll personally reach out to you guys. Then there comes the sentiment analysis. This is very useful. Any piece of content should not spread any hatred or misinformation. Now, hatred, anxiety, angriness, these all things can be easily judged with the help of the sentiment analysis. And here is an impact like, are reptiles good pets? So as you can see, or are reptiles bad pets? So as you can see, like Google does have different versions of results across different pages. So sentiment is one of the important factors to look for. Here are a few observations which you can go through by pausing the screen. Even Danny Sullivan from Google said that a page arguing that replies are good pets seems the best match for the people who searches them for being good. Similarly, page arguing that replies are bad pets, similarly best match for the people who search for them being bad. We are exploring solutions to this challenge, including showing multiple responses. In other words, people who belong to the negative sentiment queries can optimize the landing page for a negative sentiment so that they rank higher for the negative sentiment queries, and people who are positive sentiment based, they can optimize their landing page for a positive sentiment to make sure that their website ranks for the positive group of the keywords. Then we have some scores on the leveraging of the co-occurrence words to capitalize on the phrase based indexing. Like see this example which has been taken from Moz. Like if I have like on the left hand side, this page contains few co-occurring phrases and may rank lower for US presidents like New York, Broadway, US presidents, taxi cabs, Elmo performers, which simply does not make any sense. Whereas on the right hand side, US presidents, White House, George Washington, Whig Party, John Adams, all of these synonymically are relevant to a similar set of keywords and hence can rank higher for US president. So we do have some additional suggestions on how you can make phrase based indexing work, but that is for another chapter of the video, so we'll make a video on this shortly. Then we have the semantic score. So semantic score is nothing but just a mean average of various factors like various semantic factors like the LDA, cosine, word vector, semantic relevance, and if we take everything as a cluster, we can get a semantic score on how a particular landing page is semantically more relevant. So here is a sample example on the same. So guys, these are just to name a few, but as you have seen, like Google is slowly evolving way towards the semantic spectrum. So there is a whole lot of things you can do, but three important key takeaways: always try to make a meaningful context of your content. If you're targeting a set of queries, make sure those are relevant to the search queries, make sure those are well similar, and make sure they are like serving a user beneficial factor. towards that particular community. The second factor is make sure your content is serving the intent against a particular set of queries, and last but not the least, make sure there are no technical glitches. You need to be well aware with all of the latest technical guidance just to make sure that the site is free from any kind of rendering or crawling issues, because this can really have a devastating factor in the long run. Thanks for watching.